Now, with the business, like, are you happy with the income and all that sort of stuff that you've been doing?
Yeah. Look, since being an independent, turnovers increased substantially. So that's been really good and has allowed me to expand.
Why do you think people choose you, or what's your difference?
We give a lot of value up front to our clients before we even start a job. I think that's what it is, whereas there's a lot of potential independents out there that operate a little bit differently. The independents are basically going out there and no one really knows who they are. So building that trust with the client can be a lot harder. I mean, I used to be an independent. It definitely is a lot harder.
So, Brendan, thanks for joining us today on the Jim's podcast. And you're from Jim's Bathrooms and Resurfacing in Tasmania. So we've had a few of the bathrooms and resurfacing boys on before. So we're going to get into a whole bunch of stuff today and ask you a whole bunch of questions about your business specifically. But before we start, just want to ask you about what were you doing prior to Jim's Bathrooms and how did you get involved?
Yeah, so I've been building for about 15 years from the start of my apprenticeship. Been doing a whole heap of different carpentry and became a licensed builder. And then up until Jim's Bathrooms, I was basically out on my own, just doing building work and carpentry work.
And then what prompted you then to do Jim's Bathrooms?
So it was pretty funny. I seen an ad pop up and I seen Stephen and I thought, you know what, like I think it's time for a bit of a change. So I basically clicked the link, put in an inquiry. Stephen reached out to me pretty much straight away, discussed it a bit and thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a crack. I was a bit hesitant when it comes to buying into a franchise, but I must say, I wish I'd done it earlier. So if I'd done it earlier, I would have been pretty happy, I think. Yeah.
Well, I love hearing how you're saying you're hesitant because I think that's a natural reaction when it comes to franchises, just in general. So what was your thoughts about what was your conceptions about a franchise before knowing about, let's say, Jim's? What did you think?
Yeah, look, like you hear a lot of people and I think it's like people are proud of their own building brand. Then there's other things like, franchise fees and the costs associated. But since being a franchisee, I can't really fault it and the system and the brand and working under that Jim's brand. It's just so, it's such a household name. It's been great, really.
Yeah, it's an interesting one you said, Brendan. I love hearing that point because I want to just talk about a bit more about, you said about doing your own brand. And I think a lot of people, that's the thing, in Australia, be independent, do your own brand and stuff. But as you know, it's not easy to build a brand that people know in your area. It takes a long, long time and a lot of work. Whereas with Jim's, obviously, it is a known brand already. So I think people who can pull themselves away from that fact a bit earlier, you definitely benefit from it.
Yeah, definitely.
And now you've inquired with Stephen. It's a bit hard to do an observation there because I think in Tassie you would have been the first one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So what research or what else did you do in your discovery process? Because it can be quite a big decision to do what you were doing. So what did you do to research, or what did Stephen tell you, or what was it about the system that made you decide to join?
It was pretty good, and Stephen made it pretty easy for me to do my research. He basically said, here's all the franchisees that we've currently got. Feel free to give them a call and ask their experience. So that's exactly what I did. I got everything was great feedback from all the franchisees that I called. And then I did a bit of my own homework and just financials and things like that and buying into the franchise, seeing what it would take for me to basically pay it off and the return and everything like that. And thought, you know what, this is doable. Like, this is actually achievable. So it was a pretty easy decision.
Good. And also I think you're investing with Stephen as well, because Stephen's obviously the founder. He's probably I think he's the youngest divisional in Jim's group, which he is, but I think he's an absolute gun if it's done. And I think that's a really important thing to get on with the franchise also. Yeah, what would you sort of say about what he does with the division? Because I think from the outside looking in, I know they've just got a few awards and stuff, which has been fantastic from Top Franchise, but he's a really young go-getter, I think, Stephen, and he's done I think he can relate well to you blokes. Like, you're all sort of a similar age sort of group, your 30s and your early 40s and stuff like that.
Yeah, look, it's been good. Like, Stephen's based obviously in Sydney. I grew up in Sydney and then I moved down to Tassie. But Stephen and I get along really well, even though it is remote. And like, he's got a lot of drive. He's always open ears. So it's really good. Like, if you come up with ideas and things like that, he'll definitely take it on board. And I think everyone, with our monthly meetings and things like that we all do as a team together, we can share those ideas and it boosts the brand. So Stephen's not afraid to kind of try new things to promote the brand and get out there more. And then all that does really is, I think it just helps everybody. It helps the brand, the Jim's Bathroom brand, just keep growing.
Absolutely. And because I think you're the biggest in Australia now already, which is great. And I can only see it going further because I think The great thing about Jim's bathrooms is just there's trust in the name, and especially when it comes to renovations and using tradies. I think people are becoming a bit more hesitant, and there's a few horror stories.
Yeah.
I think with Jim's bathrooms, people should know that that's definitely not going to be the case. But I want to talk more now about you and your business. So you were the first franchisee in Tassie.
Yeah.
Now, how does the Tassie market differ from the other markets? Because I've mainly spoken to franchisees, I think, in Victoria and New South Wales, never Queensland, never one from Tassie for bathrooms. So is there a bit of a difference between the markets or?
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting. So in Tassie, there's a lot of things that aren't existent in the other states. So like when you look at home warranty insurance, that's non-existent here.
Right.
So as a consumer, I guess it would be really worrying that you're hiring these people and there is no homeowner warranty insurance. You don't actually have to be a licensed tradesperson to do a bathroom reno. Whereas the good thing about gyms is that everyone who is a part of gyms are vetted to be licensed builders, to be qualified carpenters or qualified tradespeople, to hold working with vulnerable people cards and all of these things. So from a consumer perspective, you've got the brand and you know that the franchisees have been vetted, whereas there's a lot of people and there's a lot of horror stories in Tassie. So it's really nice to be a part of something that you know that you can deliver a really nice bathroom or really nice product.
Now, is that something your customers and people who look at quotes for you are aware of? Because I wasn't aware of that at all for Tasmania, so I didn't know that. So anyone can literally just say they can do bathroom renovations and they can do it. There's no need for a license number or nothing like that.
No. So it depends on the bathroom. So if it's permitted work and you got to go through council and get a permit, then yes. If it's not permitted, no, people are free. So if you're doing a like for like bathroom, you don't actually have to hold anything really.
Jeez.
And yeah, so there's a lot of there's a lot of work that's generated, let's say, by us having to go in and do rectifications. So, which is a good thing people call gyms, and they go, look, I can go to gyms, I can trust gyms, and then we go in and put a few smiles on some faces.
Now, you're the first person I've heard that with the bathrooms division. So you're doing rectification work. So someone's maybe got someone else who wasn't qualified or whatever, and then they stuff it up or they go missing or whatever, and then you have to come in and sort it out.
Yeah. I wouldn't list the numbers. It's quite scary. But yeah, so we do that. It keeps it very interesting as well. So you, as you could imagine, you're working with these clients that have dealt with all of this. So you got to show a bit of empathy towards their situation. But the outcome is superb. Like if people to jump onto, say, my Google reviews that are here in Hobart, they'll see the clients that have said, after a horror story, Brandon came in and the gym's bathroom team fixed it. So it's really rewarding.
Now, I'm going to pull up some right now. We're going to do it live. I'm going to put it, not live or on the recording, reviews, Tassie. That's quite outstanding. So I've done a few interviews with the bathrooms boys. I've never heard any of them doing rectification. It's always bathroom renos. So to hear that is obviously quite disappointing for those customers, but knowing that they can come and use you guys to do it is a good thing. How many Google reviews do you have currently?
I think we've got 19.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yep. That's really, really good. And you're saying that customers have just mentioned about that with it's not coming up for me on my end. That's probably because it's actually, no, here we go. It's saying positive reviews. Customers are given 5-star ratings for recent renovations. So I'm looking up here. So we've got a Google AI overview, which we've got. And punctuality, professionalism, and excellent attention to detail as well. They've also saying you've got experienced staff and individual team members, etc., and high customer satisfaction, which is fantastic. So hopefully people can use you guys. Now, no, you're doing rectification. You do full bathroom renovations. So is there any difference in anything that customers should know about in Tassie when it comes to this?
I think the only thing really customers need to understand is, like, depending when they're going to go and choose a builder, just to vet their builder, and realistically just choose gyms. I mean, we've got all the all the knowledge. We use all licensed trades. We vet our trades and everything like that. Yeah, and just.
Now, Brandon, Brandon, probably a good question to ask you then for customers, which would be useful, is what questions should they ask? So I presume they're not just looking at you for a quote, they're looking at maybe 2 or 3 because it's such a high ticket item. So what are the types of questions that a customer should ask?
Yeah, look, I think customers should ask when they're looking into a bathroom. So definitely have a figure in mind of their budget and let their bathroom builder know the budget. So let us know what the budget is. And then we can actually work with the client and give you the answers of what can be achieved within that budget. So that's one really handy question. The other one is to ask anything that could seem daunting. So, a lot of questions say, what am I going to do without a bathroom? How long is that going to be? So for us, we turn bathrooms around between 3.5 and 5.5 weeks, depending on the size. So during that time, we offer complimentary toilets and showers and things like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So just to make it as comfortable as possible during that time. The other thing is to ask about our designing services. So what we can do as far as having a consultation, design a bathroom that the client's going to be happy with. We've got some real software that we utilize that can give three-dimensional designs. Just ask about, the products and where to get those products from and things like that. Yeah, definitely important questions for planning out the bathroom stage and experience.
So the process for customers, they come and give you a quote, you call them back straight away. Now from then, is it just a matter of meeting them face to face for a consultation, or can we walk through people the process of what it actually involves from, let's say, want a bathroom call to finished product? What's everything?
Yeah, so generally we'll go out and we'll meet up with the client. So we'll answer the call straight away. We'll try to get to the client within a day or two. For us at the moment, we're the only bathroom renovator in Tassie. So
really,
so we get a couple of jobs around the state. So for instance, those faraway jobs, I'll ask the clients to provide some measurements, some photos, and I'll do a design remotely. I'll send it off to the client, and then we just do a Zoom call like you and I are doing.
Yep.
So we're able to service all clients. So basically, once we go through that service, we go out, we do the inspection, we then provide an estimate, a proposal. People change their bathroom designs like 2-3 times generally by the time we get to the build process. So we're really flexible like that. And then basically once they go through that design and they're happy with it, they're locked in, we'll issue a standard contract through our industry body. So we'll use a building contract, and then from there we'll start and plan. So we've got some pretty cool tools. So we actually use in our Tassie branch, we use a live schedule. So our clients can actually track who's coming in their house, what day, what's going to happen, what's going to be completed throughout the whole process of the bathroom build.
That's very cool to hear, because I don't think I've never heard any businesses really doing that. Probably the main thing I hear about is, you might have a live tracker with someone coming to your door and that's it. So to hear that is must be really, really assuring to customers. Is that the feedback you get from them?
Yeah, they love it.
Yeah, I'd say they'd love it. Yeah, and the actual design thing you have, is that the standard amongst the bathroom franchisees? I know Stephen, you saw it at a presentation. Is that the thing, like in the bit of the suitcase, or?
Yeah. So it's really cool. So we actually have a range. I think it's like 200 tiles or something in sample cases. So when we go out to clients, we can actually bring those tiles out. We can do the design then and there if they really wanted to. And then I've got all these other samples, so we can go and choose all your colors of chrome or brushed gold, and everything's a sample kit, and we can actually bring it out. So the clients don't really have to even leave. They don't have to leave their home to design it.
So yeah, this is great to point out to people. So basically they might have a Pinterest thing, or they might have something on Instagram as an image, for example. You come to the home if you're doing it via a home, and you can literally pull out the kit and you can go through it and match it up, and they can start visually seeing it, and you can design it pretty much on site.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And how long does that sort of process take? Is it like a couple of hours, is it an hour, or?
We can usually do like something very, very rough for the client to get a really good understanding in about 20 minutes.
Wow.
Consult. Yeah, it's pretty quick. And then we can go more in depth. It usually takes about an hour to get a perfect design.
It's pretty cool. And I was going to say, what type of bathrooms do you find yourself then doing mainly? Like, is there any sort of styles or fixtures, or what sort of people are asking you to do?
Yeah, so a lot of people just want a nice, clean bathroom, pretty simple, walk-in shower. We usually create a wet room, so it's pretty popular here. So the bath shower's all on one side of the bathroom, toilet vanity on the other side. And then from there, a lot of our clients usually want to progress, and we end up doing their en-suites and their kitchens and all the other things around it. So it's pretty cool.
That's good to point out, because I think I hear that a bit from the boys as well. It's not only the bathrooms they're doing kitchens, and usually said en-suites and stuff. So just to be clear, if a customer does want the kitchen done, en-suite done, anything else done, literally renovation-wise on the home, you guys can do it.
Yeah. So we're fully licensed builders, so we can basically do everything.
Which makes sense, because you're already there, you've got trust, and if you're capable of doing the other thing, they might as well get it done at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now with the payment, do you guys still have the payment plan, or how does that work? Can they pay in installments, or how does it work with you guys?
Yeah, so that's really handy. So our clients are generally they go through a very quick process to see if they're eligible, but they could potentially borrow up to $25,000 towards their bathroom renovation.
Mm.
So they can use that for their selection items. They can use it for our labor and what we charge to do the bathroom builds. If their bathroom goes over that, they can just throw in some additional funds to cover the cost, and it's really handy. So they can actually access up to that 25,000, and they pay it in monthly installments over the lifetime of that little loan.
And what's the typical cost of the bathroom you find yourself doing? Is like a range, is like a 20 to 30K, or what's the typical range of customers are spending?
Yeah, so usually our customers are usually between 25 and 35,000 range.
And that's everything done. You don't have to worry about anything. Everything's going to be compliant, and that's the main thing. And let's say choosing fixtures and stuff, like choosing with tubs. Do you go with them to it, or how do they do that when selecting tubs and showers and things like that?
Yeah, so a lot of our clients, actually, funnily enough, have already purchased a lot of their items.
Oh, yeah, before they even get to you.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So they're pretty keen clients. So they'll purchase all their stuff or half of their items, and then they give us a call and say, "We've got all this stuff. When can you start?" But that's usually how most of our jobs work. If there's any,
But should people wait, Brandon? Should people wait before talking? Talk to you first, then do it.
look, I mean, if they know what they want, they know what they want. However, it is good because then we can brainstorm ideas together, and that's the part I love, to be honest, is to go over to the client's house and brainstorm with them, and they go, "I didn't even think of that," and get them exactly what they want. Yeah, so it's really good. But other clients, yeah, we generally will send them off to a couple of suppliers, and we'll recommend a few suppliers and say, feel free to go out. And then some of the ones that are struggling a little bit, then definitely we'll actually go out with them.
Oh, cool. And I was going to say, with how many jobs are you doing, like in a month, or what's your sort of typical, how many jobs you have on the go?
Yeah, so we usually have about 4 full bathroom renos going, and then we get a lot of smaller little jobs, bathroom jobs. So it might be like regrouting of a shower bay, or ripping out a shower base and a shower cubicle and putting a new one in. So we get a lot of these odd little jobs as well.
And how many tradies do you have to typically manage on a job? Like how many people do you have to bring in?
This is really interesting because a lot of people say, some people think, oh, 3.5 weeks is a long time to renovate. But when you think about it, there's almost every trade involved in building a house goes into your bathroom reno in 3.5 weeks. So you've got your tilers, electricians, plumbers, plasterers, painters, your carpenters. Yeah, so it can be pretty busy. And then we've got our in-house team as well. So currently I've got 3 full-time staff members and plus myself.
Oh, great. And I was going to say, have you had people have a crack at it themselves as like an owner builder type thing, and then they go, it's too hard, and they get you in?
Yeah. I've had a client recently actually who had a crack at doing renovations all on her own, and then was managing trades, got us in for the bathroom, a little bit nervous about letting other trades do the bathroom. So we went and done that. It turned out beautiful. And then she actually got us back. She goes, it was just so easy. She goes, can you finish all the kids' bedrooms and the lounge room and everything? And I said, yeah, not a problem.
I think everyone gets inspired by the renovation shows, but they don't see all the organisation and making sure people rock up on time and all that sort of stuff. I think just getting you guys just to handle it, because you guys essentially are project managers for them, is just so much easier.
Well, it's really challenging because when you look at it, you've got all these different companies that are or sole traders that basically work for themselves and have their own working shift. So we got a really good relationship with our trades. Everyone's very punctual. They know the gym system. The tradies love the gym system. We pay our trades, within an hour of getting their invoice.
Really?
Yeah. Which is really helpful.
Yeah, well, that's a great thing. Obviously, I'm way more inclined, to drop everything to come work for you. But I think people should know, customers, that you've got these vetted, reliable tradies, whereas if they did it by themselves, they've got to try and vet people and all that sort of stuff,
Exactly.
and that could be a nightmare. With your business, you got 3 staff, which is fantastic. So did you have a team before coming into gyms, or did you build this team when you started?
No, I actually built this team when I started.
Wow.
So, that was since April last year.
And how's that been, managing people and employing people?
Yeah, really good. Really good.
And now, what does your team do in your business? What areas do they help you in?
Yeah, so basically I've got they're all carpenters.
Yeah.
So, and they're very well rounded. So we do a bit of other things as well. So the boys will go and basically do all the carpentry work, fit off. One of them's a leading hand / supervisor. So he helps me project manage as well and liaise with all the trades.
Great. Now with the business, like, are you happy with the income and all that sort of stuff that you've been doing?
Yeah. Look, turnover has since being an independent, turnover's increased substantially. So that's been really good. And has allowed me to expand.
Well, so what's your plan for your business then? You've got a pretty big business already and you're a dominant player from the sounds of it in Tassie. Like, what's your plan for your business? Like, do you just want to keep expanding to do more jobs, or what's your goal?
Yeah, we're looking at doing more jobs and also potentially, don't know yet, but looking into even going into Launceston. So I'm based in Hobart, but potentially buying a franchise in Launceston as well and getting that up and running.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, what's then been some challenges in doing the business? So we don't want to, running a business is tough, as you know. So what's been the challenge and most challenging aspects of it that people should know about?
The most challenging part of it is sometimes, I guess, people might have expectations of certain things. So trying to deliver to those expectations. If we don't meet a client's expectation on something, it's building and construction. So sometimes measurements don't always work, or you rip out an old home and realize that there's all structural braces in there and it redirects something. So it's just working out a way with the client to make them happy and redirect and work out how we go with certain things. The other thing is, staff definitely has been challenging. It's really good getting those extra hands and everything like that. However, there's also more things that can potentially go wrong. People do make mistakes. We're all human. But then we just work through them. It's all part of the job in my eyes.
Yeah. Now, time management, how do you manage your time? Because you got employees, which you've got payroll, you got, your super, you've got them, you got to manage these ongoing jobs all the time. So how do you manage your time yourself? Is there any systems you use? Do you use any software? Like, how do you do it?
Yeah, look, I do outsource. So my staff are full-time. They are outsourced through labour hire. So that's really helpful. But also, I use things like Xero for accounting and things like that, which makes it a simple process. We use Google Drives and things like that so we can collaborate with clients. We use software to send our contracts out so we can remote sign. Things that I've learned on the way to basically speed up the process. So, the likes of softwares, like you said, and subscriptions really do help with my time efficiency. It's not all sunshine, rainbows, and lollipops when it comes to being a business owner. There is a lot of time that you've got to put in a lot of elbow grease. However, I do feel like I put in a lot of time at the start of the business, April last year, and within 2 to 3 months, the ball just started rolling and the work was flowing in. Leads come through really simply, and it's easy to get work. Yeah.
I'm glad to see that, Brandon, because we don't want people just to think they're going to come in and make $1 million first week. Like, you've got to put the hard work in, as you said, and then you get the benefits down the track, but you've got to work hard. And I think that's the thing with gyms. Like, you're not just going to walk in and have success unless you work hard as well. And you've got to put in those hours like you've done, and then that gives you the platform for success. But I was going to say as well, what do you think the biggest difference in the market is with gyms and your business and how you present yourself as opposed to others? Because when you go in to do quotes, obviously they're not just looking at you, they're looking at other providers. So why do you think people choose you, or what's your difference?
Yeah, so I actually ask my clients. So I say, why did you choose us, or how did you hear about us, or something like that. Generally, everyone knows gyms. So they go, well, I use Jim's mowing or Jim's cleaning, and I've got confidence within the brand. They do tend to still go and get other quotes. Obviously, it's a big investment. However, I think it's just, between knowing that brand, meeting us and what we provide, like, we give a lot of value up front to our clients before we even start a job. We don't put our hand out and ask for money straight away or nothing like that. We work with the clients. I think that's what it is. Whereas there's a lot of, potential independents out there that operate a little bit differently. And it's, the independents are basically going out there and no one really knows who they are. So building that trust with the client can be a lot harder. I mean, I used to be an independent. It definitely is a lot harder.
Yeah, I was going to say, the difference, you'd know the difference flat out. Yeah. So, yeah, and also you said something then when I pick up on the value to clients. So you're providing value. Is that with the design aspects, or is it just with pure advice, or actually bothering to go out and take the time with them, or what do you mean by value?
Well, a lot of clients, they say, no one ever got back to me, or I had a guy come out, he provided me a quote and I haven't heard anything since, or I just didn't get a good feeling, or something like that. And then also it's the other things. So it's the fact that people can actually visualize their bathroom. Like, you forget. So as a carpenter, a builder, many years in building, I can visualize something in my head. A lot of people don't have the ability to visualize because they haven't been around that. That's not their industry. That's not where, where their main focus is. So for us to be able to do the design and give that to them, and it's all free. We don't charge for any of that. It's good value.
Well, I think that's a big thing to point out to people, that it is a free quote, and then you're providing a free detailed visualization with your systems and your experience as well to talk them through it. I think that's just an absolute no-brainer. I was going to say, what do you think your conversion rate is then with your leads? Because based on this.
Yeah, look, I'd say my conversion rate is probably around 70 to 80%.
That's great for such a high ticket item.
Yeah.
That's really
especially like it's really good because we get the brand and then we get the referral. Putting them both together, usually it's a conversion straight away.
Yeah, it's 78% fantastic. That's like a mowing franchise, which is a little bit easier to convert on the jobs, I presume, than what you guys have to do with just the amount of money.
Yeah.
It shows you the demand, I guess, there is for reliable trades in your area as well. So sounds like you're doing a fantastic job. So Brandon, is there anything I haven't asked you that I should ask you today? I've interviewed a few of the bathrooms guys before, and I said to you before we did this, I want to try and ask something a little bit more original, which is why we've asked a bit more about Tassie. So is there anything else, that you might want to share for customers or for other people or about what you do?
Yeah, I think it's just, in my area in Tasmania, I think that it's just important for clients to know that, they can build with a trusted brand. If, it's not like the mainland where you have, fair work in New South Wales, fair trading in New South Wales where you're protected. You're not as protected, I think, in Tasmania. So being able to have a big brand and there's a Jim's warranty fund and things like that, that's important to know.
I think you're sitting at then the Jim's warranty fund, absolutely. So do you want to explain a little bit about the Jim's work guarantee and the warranty fund and how it works? It's massively important for your dues.
Yeah. So like the Jim's warranty fund, I guess it's important for clients to know that, if something were to happen, they are back. There is someone that they can speak to. They can call, if there is a problem or something with a franchisee in Tasmania, there's somewhere to escalate it and get a resolve. Whereas with an independent, they might be able to go to a local regulator. However, because trades aren't licensed, the regulators in Tasmania can't do much because they can only really mediate someone that's got a license. So I think for peace of mind, building a bathroom with Jim's, it's good to know that there is a warranty fund. So all the other states might have a home warranty fund. Tassie hasn't got that privilege. However, building with Jim's, you've got that.
Oh, I think it's an absolute no-brainer for customers because the liability insurance, but the work guarantee or the Jim's warranty fund where that's there to really protect customers if something's not done correctly and he gets a complaint and escalate and we're found at fault, that warranty fund there will fix it. And I think customers need to know that more and more because it's a massively important thing. And as you said, there's no independents that offer that. No one else can offer that at all. So that's really important for the people to know. And if you decide between 2 or 3 quotes, you need to really look at the work guarantee that we have in place because that's going to hopefully be the thing that helps make the decision a little bit easier to use Jim's. So Brandon, thank you very much for your time today. Really glad to hear how well you're doing. And before I leave, actually, we'll ask about, if someone's looking at Jim's bathrooms in another state in Australia or another area, what would you sort of say to them in terms of maybe questions to ask or just some advice?
Yeah, look, I think the most important thing is to ask the other franchisees. Get a list of numbers, do exactly what I did, give them all a call, ask them about the good, ask them about the bad, and really that's the best thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree. And I was going to say as well, thank you for today. Well done on your success. You've got a great business there already, and in 78% conversion rate's awesome. Like, it's really, really good, especially in how high ticket your item is. It's a fantastic result, and you obviously sound very happy with what you're doing, which is great for us to see as well at head office. So appreciate your time today, Brandon, and have a good weekend.
Cheers. Thanks, Joel.
Thank you for listening to the episode of the Jim's podcast. If you want to learn more about the Jim's Group, head to jims.net or call us on 131 546 Australia or 0800 454 654 New Zealand. And if you did like the episode as well, please make sure you leave a review or a comment or a thumbs up or a comment on the video as well. We appreciate your support. And until next episode, we hope you have a great week.